Hello there, lovelies. It's Stephanie from Oh You're Lovely, where we carry the largest selection of wood flowers in the United States. Welcome back to another tutorial. Today, we're going to focus on a particular flower. I would like to introduce you to Helen. Helen comes in 3 different sizes. We have we'll start with the smallest first. We have the 2.5 inch size. Now that's like eyeballs. The coolest thing about Helen, she's got a kind of peony look to her, but in the center, she has a bark little palm center, which is super adorable. Here she is in the 3 inch size. So to give you an idea, 2.5, 3, and then we have an extra large baddie of sorts. Here is Helen in an extra large size. I mean, just so stinking gorgeous. Now, I'm sure you're wondering what happens if you dip dye her. She opens up a little bit. So let me just show you. We really do enjoy using Helen in particular for dyed flowers at a lot of the time in our assortments because they're just, hold on, I gotta go grab the ones I just threw over the table, but here's one of them. And it just depends on the color. Sometimes the brown kind of pops a little bit and sometimes it mutes it a little bit. It just depends, but that's half the fun. Let me go grab those other 2. There is the orange one. So this one definitely kind of kept its upward shape and didn't open up as much, but this one opened up just so lovely. Now, if you don't want them to open up as much, you're gonna wanna spray them down with some Mod Podge or Design Master. They have a finishing spray that you can also put on the flowers and that'll help keep their shape. I've found that if the smell doesn't bother you, Mod Podge is a little bit more affordable and they do pretty much the same thing. If you want a tutorial about the kind of fix-it sprays to help keep the shape of the flowers, especially those that tend to open up when dip dyeing, I will link the tutorial down below. I don't know why I can't speak right now, but I can't. So let's talk about today's project, shall we? Let's move those all out of the way. Today's project is going to be based off of this lovely arrangement that we did over on Facebook Live the other week. We do go on Facebook Live once a week. We do craft tutorials live. So if you ever want to just hang out with us for a half hour, 45 minutes on a Thursday evening, go hang out with us over on Facebook. You can give me your thoughts and opinions as we're working on stuff. I do ask for a lot of like, should we do this? Should we not? Should we put this here? Should we not? I really love playing around with you guys during the lives as far as getting input and thoughts on things. And I really loved how this piece turned out, but I would like to make a wreath version of this instead. So we're gonna use a bunch of dried fillers from my garden. So we're gonna head out to the gardens real quick and go pick some more fillers because I used quite a bit of it during the live. So I wanna kind of recreate this, but with a twist a little bit. I also wanna try a different technique for making wreaths. I had seen recently somebody was just taking wire, and it's kind of in the design itself too, but holding everything in place. So I wanna give that a try. We'll see how it goes. And I think we're gonna actually add some of those butterflies as well. But the flowers in particular, we're not gonna dye those flowers because everything for the most part, we're gonna put some artificial filler, but for the most part, it's gonna be all dried fillers from my gardens. I'm anticipating that this wreath will deteriorate over the next couple of months. And I'm okay with that. I am, I think. Unless it's so stinking pretty that I'm gonna be sad, but we could always make another one next year. So let's go out to the gardens and we will forage a little bit and then we will get to making that wreath. I think I came back with more than I was anticipating. So we've got here and here. On top of that, we have what was left over from the last project. So we've got some more, these were from like lilies, the seed pods from some lilies. And then over here, we have some more dried sunflowers, some fluffy grasses, a few little pieces of sedum, a few other things kind of sprinkled throughout there. So we're gonna fill this back up. And then I also have just a little bit of our willow dried eucalyptus. You can find that at ohyourlovely.com. And then we also have some Queen Anne's lace that's been dried. And then finally, for the artificial fillers, we have the ginkgo, which we carry year-round at ohyourlovely.com. We actually had this made specially for us because we absolutely love it and we want it all the time. So we actually make that one ourselves. We also have some fall magnolia leaves. These may still be in the shop as you're watching this. We tend to rotate our seasonal greenery every year. And then these two were special that were in one of our subscription boxes. It's our subscription, or it's our Stash Builders Plus, where you get a little bit of everything. You get some fillers that are special to that box, as well as some dyed flowers and raw flowers. So if you're ever interested in our subscription boxes, you can find those over at ohyourlovely.com as well. And if you have any questions about those in particular and how the subscriptions work, you can always send us a message. So we're also gonna use some artificial filler with all of the dried stuff and the wood flowers. I have a lot of stuff. I don't think we're gonna need that much. Oh, and then our wreath form, I'm taking some, I think I got this at Hobby Lobby at one point, as far as like a big round thing of it. I cut off what I wanted and then I tied it off with some wire that is wrapped in raffia paper. So that'll make, whoops, I can't talk and I'm dropping everything. Jeez, freaking Louise. But it'll hang like that. So, all right. I'm going to clean up some of these stems and then we will get to the placement and kind of my thoughts on all of this, because I want to think something through just a little bit on how we're going to put this all together. I'm thinking a bundle technique. I'm thinking that's what we're gonna do. So I will be right back once I get my thoughts together. So meet me right here, okay? Now the bundles that I'm making are on a little bit of a larger size. You can make those bundles smaller or larger. I would probably suggest going on the more small to medium size. To make a bundle though, what I'm speaking about is basically just taking a few of the different fillers that you have, or flowers, whatever it is that you're using to create your piece, and you're just going to start bundling it basically. Pretty much every single one of my bundles has some sedum because I had quite a bit of the sedum and I really like the color and it dries well too. Sorry, I'm like still dealing with this cold, so I'm like sniffling the whole time. So we're just grabbing a few different pieces. I'm not thinking too hard about where I want everything to go. But I am doing it though as a flat. I'm not going all the way around like we would when we do the bundle technique for flower arrangements in terms of when it comes to bouquets, but I am doing flat then on these because these are all just gonna kind of go throughout the wreath form. This time around, because I'm using more natural materials than artificial fillers and wires, I am using floral tape, the sticky stuff. I know that this sometimes can be a pain in the butt for people to work with. The trick to it is you want to make it taunt to activate that stickiness. And then I'm going decently high up onto the base. What's gonna happen is from one bundle, you're gonna be placing another bundle over it, and you're gonna be covering up your tape. This is where you could go with smaller bundles if you wanted to, so that it just is gonna depend on how full you want your wreath to be. I'm an extra, extra kind of girl, as you all know. So big, large, and in charge wreaths are fine by me. But if you wanted to start smaller, that's completely fine as well. So I'm gonna finish up these bundles. I'll show you all the bundles, and then we will start working on how we're gonna put them on the wreath. We'll see if we're gonna do the wire. I'm a little nervous about it. And if the wire doesn't work, I will show you a different technique. So meet me right back. We have a total of 11 bundles. You know how I said, oh, you wouldn't use these for a bouquet? My goodness, this actually looks pretty dang cute. It could be a bouquet. Oh, it's a beautiful, large and in charge bouquet, but we're gonna make it into a wreath. I do have some leftover fillers that I didn't really use a lot of in here in terms of, I didn't use the fuzzy grass, so I think if we're gonna use it, I'm gonna add it in as we go along. Seems with possibly the Queen Anne's lace. I'm not 100% sure if we're gonna use those or not. I kind of feel like those are better probably for arrangements versus a wreath, since they look like little umbrellas right now. So they look a little odd placement on a wreath, I feel like, but we'll see, we'll see. So let's get to putting the wreath together. Again, this is our wreath form. My thought process on this is we're going to probably fill the entire wreath. So we're gonna go put one here, and then we'll grab another bundle, and we're just gonna overlap it. And as we're overlapping, we're gonna be wrapping it with some decorative type wire. So not floral paddle wire, but I think I've talked about this, but maybe I haven't. In my hometown, where I am right now, we have a craft store that's like a thrift store. It's a thrifting craft store of sorts, where you can donate your old art supplies, and then you, as a crafty person, which this is the most dangerous store possibly for me, you can find all kinds of fun art supplies. And so there was this assorted wire bundle of like really pretty wire that I was like, this would be perfect for it. So it's a much thinner wire. Oh, this one's real pretty. Oh, I think this is the wire we're gonna use. So it's just, it's very flexible, but there's like this one is like, has a little bit of shine to it. I also have this one that's kind of more of a gold kind of wire. And then I've got other silver ones. Okay, this is gonna be really fun. But anyway, these are the type of wires we're gonna play with instead of paddle wire. This one I think is really good too. I'm making a mess. I'm making a mess. Okay, I'm gonna change the camera. I'm gonna clean up my mess. And we're gonna, oh my gosh. We're gonna bust this out. There we go. Okay. All right. Ah, I'll be right back. We are so close to the end of October and it is still so warm here in Wisconsin. It's like 80 degrees and my neighbor is mowing their lawn. Of course, yeah, I don't expect that to be happening at this time of day, at this time of the year. So if I have to stop because of the lawnmower, I'm sorry. But it did give me a little bit of time in between while I was waiting for the freaking lawnmower to stop. I didn't really love this part that I filled it in more. I went out to my garden and grabbed a few more things. So the nice thing with those wires, I can just slide things in and it all fits nice and pretty. I just felt like there was a little bit too much ginkgo. Like my absolute favorite part is actually this little bit right there. We have the butterflies. I think we're gonna add in these. I got at a craft store and they already have wires attached to them, but you could easily just attach wires onto these. They're just glued onto the back of their cute little bodies. So I just gotta figure out where I wanna put them. Excuse me, I'm still sick. I don't think I'm gonna have them floating too much. I think we'll keep them a little bit closer to the actual piece. But what I love about these wires in particular is if you want them to float. These are the same butterflies I used for that sunflower hat a while ago. If you haven't seen that one, it's so much fun. I'm gonna be using that hat for Halloween. And I have like little butterflies floating around in my head. Both in real life and on a hat. So see, do we like? And then maybe one up at the top. Yeah. I just can't get enough of monarchs, especially right now. So I'm gonna go, oh, there's a wire right there. So I'm gonna slide this in to the wire to hold it in place. And then I'm going to just kind of tuck it around. Perfect. And then our last one. And we'll have that one up. You guys, there we have it. The lovely, almost all preserved or natural wreath, minus a few of the, actually we used just the magnolia fall leaves and the ginkgo are artificial, and the rest is all natural products because the wood flowers are made from wood. They're made from shola wood, and there's bark in the middle of those. So we'll see how this all kind of fades throughout the season. I'm expecting these lovely red leaves to not keep their color. But for the most part, the rest of this is pretty close to what it's gonna look like. We might lose a little bit of the purple from the Russian sage. But other than that, the sedum holds that color pretty well. So I'm gonna put it out on my door. We'll see. Actually, I'll put it out in front of the studio door. We'll see how it does for the next couple of months. Very, very excited to see. Actually, I lie. Probably only the next month, because then I'll do a Christmas wreath in December, most likely. So we'll leave it out there for a month, see what all happens, and how many critters also maybe eat some of these, which is fine. I don't mind. It's all right. A couple takeaways that I have. The wire is actually pretty handy, except for when you get it all like tangled up and things like that. So have a plan in place or have a lot of patience, but it worked really well as far as holding everything together and didn't really squish a lot of stuff. I was a little worried about the squishability factor and if it was going to kind of flatten things. Nope, it's really easy to just kind of weave it around everything. I even think though, using like a really pretty color, a similar color story or a contrasting color, even like a burgundy or something, would have been really pretty to add another pop of something to this. But the silver worked really well. I would say too, if you wanted to hide it and get either green or brown, then you won't even see really that mechanism at all. And I glued the flowers. I was gonna wire them up, but I decided to glue them instead, and I'm fine with that choice. Again, the flower of the feature is Helen. We do have Helen in 3 different sizes. She's one of our favorites. We use her quite a bit in a lot of different dyed assortments. So give that flower a look if you haven't yet. Let's see what else. You love this channel? Can't get enough? Want to know the next time we post a tutorial? It's typically once a week on Wednesdays, normally, most of the time, maybe, hopefully, you know what I mean. Subscribe and ring that bell to find out about the 150 style solo wood flowers, craft supplies, and greenery. Go on over to ohyourelovely.com, but before you do, let me give you something. Use the code YouTube30 to get 30% off when regular priced order. All right, you guys, I will see you next week for another tutorial. I'm Stephanie from Oh You're Lovely. You, my friends, absolutely lovely. Bye, guys.